Thank you, Giuseppe. Hello, everyone. I'm at Lodi, and I'm here with a friend and colleague of mine, Simone, to talk about an open source project called IntelOwl. And this is a threat intelligence platform that we created to help the life of cybersecurity analysts, and we'll see how. Yeah, just two quick words about us. Yeah, we are from Certego. We are from Italy. We work at Certego, and we are also part of the Honeynet Project. And thanks to these organizations, we are able, thanks to their support, we are able to work with the open source community. And in particular, we were able to contribute to a lot of different open source tools in the cybersecurity field. And we were also able to create our own ones, like IntelOwl. Wait, before telling something about our project, I'd like to tell you a brief story. Here you can see a photo of me 7 years ago at the Christmas party of my company. And well, I was really excited because I just started my first job as a cybersecurity analyst, and everything was really great. I mean, we were just a few guys, but we were really strongly motivated. We were supportive to each other. We were skilled, and we really wanted to make our impact in the industry. And this was a really great environment for me and for us. Plus, I mean, we know that cyber threats are continuously evolving, so we had the chance to research and study new threats every day. And this was really challenging, but also a very, very important learning experience. And then on top of that, I mean, I really always like to think that my job was an ethical job. So I thought that maybe I could consider myself a sort of superhero, I mean, because yeah, we are fighting the bad guys, right? So yeah, I really like to think about that. So, well, at one point I told to myself, well, you really landed your dream job. I mean, there's nothing better than this. Finally, all of the years that I spent studying a lot of stuff, maybe also boring stuff like maths, cryptography, and so on, all of that has really been worth it. However, my excitement didn't last as long as I expected. At one point, I found out that I had to fight not only cyber criminals, but also a more hidden and more hideous threat that is called the burnout condition. Yes, I'm pretty serious about that. There are more and more psychological problems in this field. There are a lot of reports about that. In particular, one of them says that more than 50% of people have experienced extreme stress in the cybersecurity field. And I mean, in my opinion, this is a really huge number. But which are the reasons? Well, cybersecurity analysts, I mean, there are a few of them. There is a huge skill shortage, and this leads to understaffed team, and as a consequence, people are overworked. Plus, we know that cyber threats do not stop during nights or weekends. So as a cybersecurity analyst, you may need to work after your shifts. And so a lot of analysts struggle with maintaining a decent work-life balance. Then another very stressful thing is that it's enough to do a very little mistake to just open the ports of your infrastructure to the enemies. For example, if you misconfigure your firewall, or maybe if you're an analyst, you have to deal with a lot of security alerts and you just miss the most important one. And then on top of all of these things, most of the cybersecurity analysts struggle because they do not have the right tools to do their jobs. And so they're often stuck to do a lot of manual work. And this is really, really stressing. So this was the reality of my personal situation. It was 2017. I was working, in a little team of cybersecurity analysts, and we were overwhelmed by security alerts and stuck in repetitive and boring tasks. So at one point, I was completely exhausted. However, it was very clear to us what we needed to start to do. We needed to start to automate our most common workflows. So we started to look for the bottleneck of our manual approaches, and we found out that most of the time that we were wasting, let's say, was in the acquisition of threat intelligence context. And I'm talking about all of the information regarding cyber attackers, their activities, that can help the security analysts to do a lot of things. For instance, to reduce the time of their investigations, to triage security alerts faster, and also to be more accurate when detecting and fighting the threats. In this slide, you can see a very simple example of what I'm talking about. During their investigations, the analysts often find some digital artifacts that need to be analyzed, for instance, a suspicious file or a suspicious domain, and they need to know exactly what they are about because they need to have the right information to do the right decisions. And sometimes to do the right decisions, they need to extract information from a lot of different sources. And these sources could be internal tools, external tools, internal or external services. And in this slide, I show just some examples of the most famous ones. There are famous reputational services, other open source platforms, file analysis tools, but there are many, many more. And acquiring the data from all of these tools is really, really time consuming. And sometimes it's not enough to just extract the data from a single tool, because maybe that tool does not provide you the right information that you need to transform the data to ability to act, which is the definition of intelligence. So, well, extracting the data from all of these sources can be really time consuming if you do not have a tool that could help you to do such kind of things. So we started from our own experience as a cybersecurity analyst, and we wrote down the requirements of the tool that we needed to have. So yeah, we needed to have automated extraction of threat intelligence data from different sources. We said that. But we also needed to have a web application with a user-friendly interface, because yeah, why not? It would get our job easier. And then obviously we were dealing with a lot of other tools, so we needed a tool that could be integrated with the client libraries to do custom integrations, and also a tool that could support different use cases. But also we would also like to have a tool with a high level of scalability and speed, a tool which is open source, because we strongly believe that open source can improve the tool, but also help the community and help also ourselves. And obviously also a tool written with the most recent technologies and that is well maintained and updated. As you may have understood, we didn't find that tool at that time. So this was the birth of IntelOwl. We decided to create our tool, this tool by ourselves. It was at the start of 2020, and now it's a great example of a successful open source project. You can find it in GitHub. So in a nutshell, what does IntelOwl do? Well, IntelOwl provides data enrichment of threat intelligence artifacts like network artifacts, files, pickups, hashes, and so on. So IntelOwl became the solution to the previously described problem. Without IntelOwl, the analyst would need to extract all of the information that they need from different sources in a separate way. On the contrary, with IntelOwl, they can do it very fast with just a single button click from the graphical user interface, or programmatically, with a single API request. So I think this is really, really important, because cybersecurity analysts have need to focus on what really matters to them, which is not to extract information, collect them, and aggregate them. They need to use their time to investigate the threats, to fight cyber criminals, to detect, contain, and eradicate the threats. And this is really critical for their happiness, I'd say.
Okay, thank you. Just a second. Okay, let's start talk about IntelOwl. So for IntelOwl is a full-fledged platform and framework, and we have to maintain a backend, a front end, and an infrastructure. For the backend, we are using Python mainly. Python, all the Django ecosystem, and Celery for asynchronous stuff. For the front end, React.js, and for the infrastructure, Docker and Docker Compose to orchestrate them. Okay, So we strive to keep the documentation quite clean and straightforward. I mean, to start IntelOwl, you just have to make 4 steps. You have to clone the repository, go inside the repository itself, start our script. The script will check that your dependencies are okay, that everything is good. And if everything is going well, you can just open your browser and go to the localhost page, and you will see the homepage of IntelOwl. IntelOwl is not shipped with a default user, meaning that you have to create your own super user. And once everything is done, this is the homepage. This is the page that you will see on your browser. So what is doing behind the curtains? This is the infrastructure of IntelOwl. We have a reverse proxy with Nginx. We have 2 Django containers from, I think, 6.0. I think we added the second container because we have WestGI and Daphne. Daphne for the WebSocket, WestGI for everything else. The Django containers are connected to the Postgres database, meaning that we have primary SQL database, and we are supporting a secondary database like Elasticsearch if you want to have some business data. Django needs to talk with Celery. Celery is the software that we use, the framework that we use that are able to do a lot of asynchronous stuff. And inside IntelOwl, we have to do a lot of asynchronous stuff. And they require a broker, a message broker. We support 3 different message brokers, SQS, RabbitMQ, and Redis. I think IntelOwl is shipped with Redis at the moment as the default one. And yeah, as I said, you can connect it with your browser. We offer an SDK, so a Python SDK, so that you can integrate inside your own application. We have a REST API if you do not want to use Python or whatever reason that you need. Yeah, so we discussed a little bit about how we can show you how IntelOwl works. We decided to just show you IntelOwl and let you reach your own conclusion. So it's the first day. Maybe you did not have enough phishing stuff already, so I'm going to start with phishing. I hope I probably will not be the last, but hey, it's Monday. Again, this is the homepage. So you want to analyze some phishing URL, and you just heard that IntelOwl is able to do it. You have no knowledge about IntelOwl, you have no knowledge about anything about, and instead of following the guide on the top here, we go as we wanted to do, meaning that guides are for nerds and we want to do random stuff. So this is the homepage. On the top left corner, you can see there is home, dashboard, jobs, and the scan page. You want to analyze an URL, so probably the scan page is what you want, right? So you click it, and this is what you will be redirected to. I hope that you can read it. Yeah, something. So I will just point things out. So this is where you can insert the URL. We know nothing about this stuff, so we will not be discussing it now. And you just press Start Scan. This is the page that you will be redirected to. So again, no knowledge. We do not know nothing. So what we can understand is there is a lot of red stuff. Red stuff probably means malicious, right? So we have 3 badges that say malicious, one that is saying no, VirusTotal has some hits, and 2 actually databases found the URL. Fish Tank and Phishing Army, again, maybe phishing related, right? So we go ahead. It's hard. In the row page here, you can click it. There is a row button where you can actually go and check the raw data of every single analyzer. We will discuss about what is an analyzer in a second. So these are all analyzers that IntelOwl used for this particular job. And in particular, if you click it and open it, you can see the information about every single source. Just an example, this is Phishing Army, this is VirusTotal, and in VirusTotal, you should be able to see that there are 15 hits and 59 not malicious hits. So VirusTotal is not exactly saying that it's malicious. Analyzers. So analyzers are a type of plugin inside IntelOwl that are just able to retrieve data from external sources or internal sources, meaning that they give an evaluation or just information about the input that you added, that you inserted inside IntelOwl. We have different type of plugins, and other analyzers are just one of them. We have visualizers. The first screen that you saw, it is a visualizer, a visualization of some sort of the playbook that you inserted, meaning a visualization of the analyzers of the raw data that is human readable, allowing your team to better understand what is going on. You can create it, you can customize it. We will see about customization in a second. Again, this is, for example, a visualization. We have many of them. Playbooks. Playbooks are nothing else than an alias for analyzers and other type of plugins, meaning that you do not want to insert manually every single time, every single analyzer that you need. You just click the playbook. You create your own playbook, adding every analyzer that maybe are connected in some way. For example, phishing-related stuff. You just name it, and you create your own playbook, and you can just click it and execute it. Second example, file, just a file analysis. We have additional containers if you need for more stuff. There are more CPU intensive, so it's not shipped by default. You have to actually increase the command line for downloading them. And again, we go to the same page. We click the file button, we insert our file, and we press start scan. Before pressing start scan, we know a little bit more about playbooks, so we can choose our own playbook. We are lazy. We do not want to wait the entire sandbox to execute. We just want a faster result that is giving us a feel of the file, right? So we decided to go with static analysis because it's faster. You probably see that there is no visualization. There is nothing that help us, guide us to understand what is going on with the file. This is because, again, we have a lot of visualization. We do not have enough of them. This is an open source project. We strive to keep it updated, to improve it, and the community helps us a lot. But again, its visualization are a lot of time consuming to create because everyone has its own use cases. And so, yeah, for example, the static file playbook does not have a visualization, but you can check the raw data. So you can check every single analyzer and see what is going on. For example, whoops. Oh, I think I found the missing slide. For example, the CLAMA-V, so if you click it on CLAMA-V, you can see every single signature that matches the file. The second difference is that we have a connectors. Connectors are another type of plugin, a plugin that is able to send information to external source. So analyzers retrieve them, connector sends them. Here, we are connecting to the MISP interface, meaning that we are creating a MISP case. In this case, is drafted, is not public, but just for demo motivation. And there are information about the IntelOwl analysis and what went during IntelOwl. Customization. Again, IntelOwl is a platform and a framework, meaning that you can create your own analyzers. Actually, in the last Honeynet workshop, we were able to, people helped us create new analyzers, and you can create your own visualization and whatever you need. For example, this is just an IP address analysis, and this is our own custom visualization. We work with a SOC team, and we try to give them a visualization that will help our SOC team to understand what is going on with the IP address. For example, Quokka is our threat intelligence platform, and it's saying that it is malicious with reliability high enough. And on the bottom, you can see the reasons, so why we think that it is malicious. It's phishing, it's present in different databases, and again, we give more information. We try to give all the information that our SOC team needs before they actually need it. So if they want to check more information, they can simply click the tab and see it. Okay, so how are we on time? It's perfect. So pivot investigation. In the last release, I think 6.0, we added these two features that allows to enhance IntelOwl from a job type of analysis to an investigation type of analysis, meaning that you can connect all together different jobs in some sort of way, because maybe there is a reason that you want to connect a different job, and pivot from one job to another. example, you analyze a domain address and you want to analyze even the IP address. This is just a simple pivot in threat intelligence. Again, what you do, you start an analysis. This time you are using the DNS playbook. You start it, okay. This is the visualization. You just found the IP address, nothing else, very, very simple, very clean. You can right click on it, click the pivot button, and you will be redirected back to the scan page. Now you can choose another playbook, you can choose the same playbook, whatever, whatever you need. And you can press again, start scan. You will be redirected to the investigation page. The investigation page, as you can see, there is the main domain address and then the analysis of the IP address. You can click on each one of them and you can just go to the page. So again, you can show them, you can be redirected to whatever you need. You can go back to the investigation page. And you can add more job, meaning that you can create a full-fledged investigation, or at least we are trying to develop in this sense, but Matteo will talk about it later. You can add more jobs, you can continue to add stuff that you need for your own investigation, and then you can create a report out of it. So you can link, you can go inside the page, again, check it. As you have seen, this is all manual, meaning that you have to click every single job and create the pivot from there. And it maybe sometimes you can automate, you want to automate all of this stuff sometimes. So what you can do, you can even create playbooks that are connected with each other. Example, this is the takedown playbook that is able to, from a domain address, to send an email to the provider to ask for an abuse takedown. For abuse, maybe because it's a phishing site, probably because it's a phishing site. So once you click it, this is the job that will be done. So we are analyzing the domains to retrieve the IP address. From the IP address, we are retrieving the abuse email that we have to contact to, and then we are sending an email thanks to a connector to this abuse email for asking for the report and to the takedown.
Okay. So I'd like just to, I'm heading towards the end of this presentation, but first I'd like to say something about the future plans of our project. And yeah, since last year, we have been working hard to transform IntelOwl from a data extraction platform to a complete investigation platform. And as Simone shown you, that was our first version of the new investigation framework that we introduced in IntelOwl. But yeah, this is just the first version. We wanted to add more. As you may have seen, thanks to this framework, your analysts are able to create complex workflows, but we want to add something more. We want to help them to collaborate better with each other, to share their knowledge, to share the information that they retrieve during their investigations, all together inside the same platform. So we are aiming to add this kind of features. Then we would also like to improve our integrations with other open source tools. I mentioned just the most famous ones here, but we really think that, I mean, with this tool, we are trying to help the community. And so we think that it's really important for us to collaborate with each other, with the other open source tools that are aiming at the same things. So I invite you, if anyone in the conference who is involved in the development of these tools, to reach out. And because yeah, we have already some integrations like the MISP ones, like Simone shown you, but we would like to improve this kind of integrations even more. Then obviously this is the age of AI, so we cannot just ignore it. So we would also like to experiment with the large language models, and we have this idea of adding a chatbot in IntelOwl, which basically would answer to the questions of the analyst. So in that way, we think that it would be even cooler for the analyst to use our platform. And then another thing that, I mean, it's not only the future, it's also our past. I'd like to something about this program called Google Sum of Code, which is a program we really love, and it's a program from Google, and its goal is to bring new people into the open source community. And so thanks to this program, we were able to introduce a lot of different contributors from all over the world during the last years. And this also helped our project to grow and to be known all over the world. And this is something that we really love to continue to work with. And yeah, so this year we have, for instance, 2 different guys from India who already started to work with us at 2 different projects. And so, well, we're looking forward their contributions during this year. And obviously, we want to hear your feedback, your ideas, what you do like, what you do not like about this tool. Everything is really welcome. Because, yeah, we created this tool to help the life of security analysts, but we want to receive your feedback to help their life even more. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Matteo. Thank you, Simone, again. So now is the part for the Q&A. So every one of you want to make a question for Simone or Matteo about the project. You have the microphone in the center of the room. Maybe they are really want to go to the top. We have one question.
Hi. Thank you very much. My first question is, are you able with the platform, or have you had the thought about being able to search over the history of everything you've done, more from an intel gathering perspective, if you don't have MISP or OpenCTI or something like that?
Yeah, right now, as Simone shown you, we have an optional integration with the Elasticsearch, but we actually inside the platform, you can just do very basic lookups at this time, but we know that this is something people are looking for. So definitely our idea is to bring something inside the platform that could help, because we would not like to just, bring people to Elasticsearch and look all the things there, but we want something inside IntelOwl itself. So yeah, that's definitely a good suggestion, and we are looking for doing something about that.
Thank you for the question. We have time for more questions, so be brave. I know that all of you will full of questions after the session, but be brave, do it now.
Just wanted to improve the answer of Matteo for the search stuff. The jobs page, I don't know if I've shown it before, but anyway, there is a history, so you can search your own history of every job that you did. So you can input just the IP address maybe that you want to search, and you can follow you have the entire history of jobs if the retention allows it, because you can configure your own retention for data storage stuff for whatever reason that you need. So if you want to have infinite retention, if you can pay your own Postgres instance for having infinite storage, you can have it. Otherwise, again, if you want just to have business data stuff, so you want to see how many jobs you have done, and so you can even use Elasticsearch. But inside the platform, there is everything that you need for this kind of standard stuff. If you want more advanced stuff, if you want standard stuff, yes.
Thank you again, Simone. We have one more question, 2 more questions. We have time.
Yes, you can research domains and other IOCs. What about if you have a phishing mail? Do we have also functionality to just analyze the phishing mail and grab the IOCs out of the phishing mail?
An entire phishing email for us is an artifact. So if we support some analyzers that are able to retrieve data from the phishing hit, yes, from the phishing email, sorry, yes. So what you can do pretty much, you can have an analyzer that can retrieve IOC from the email. Then you can pivot every single domain that the analyzer is able to retrieve and start an analysis out of them.
So there's a built-in analyzer, or you have to use another...
I don't think there is built right now for able to retrieve stuff from the email. Matteo,
Yeah. Maybe there are just few static analyzers which extract the components of the email. That's also basically what Simone said. You could start with a basic analyzer, so extract the raw information and then pivot from them. So for instance, I don't know, you can extract an URL from that email and then you can pivot to their analysis. And then you can follow the process of IOC, IOC analysis.
What we are trying to say is there is nothing probably for this exactly use case, but you can build on top of what already exists for create your own use case.
Okay.
This is why I try to say that is a framework, because you can customize it for your own use cases. Thank you for the question.
We have one more question.
Hi. What is the difference with, for example, Cortex, or why Cortex from the Hive was not suitable for your requirements?
At that time we tried Cortex and it was great. Well, we wanted basically to build a platform with different technologies and also to add, I'd say, more features. For instance, as you may have seen, what we are aiming for is to create an investigative platform. So something that would not just extract information, but would really be the point to go for the analyst to start the investigations and then add all of the information that they need to finally get what they actually need. I don't know if I have answered, but yeah, it's something a little more, I'd say.
Thank you again. We have no more question, but the most important question is, you cure your burnout situation with this platform or not?
A little.
Thank you again, Matteo. Thank you again, Simone. So let's help me with a big applause for them.